So the time-tested investment advice goes something like this. Buy when there's blood in the streets, sell whenever, well, your shoe shine boy or maybe your Uber driver is talking about it. Well, the Uber drivers definitely are not talking about altcoins right now. Shout out to Uber drivers. You guys are awesome, by the way. The entire cryptocurrency market, excluding Bitcoin, is down by 42% from our December 2024 all-time highs. So if you've got a portfolio stacked heavy in alts, trust me, I feel your pain. Now, given that these last 4 months have been basically down only, the question now is if, well, should we actually be paying attention to any of this bullshit? Should we be buying any of these coins? They're all scams anyway, right? Why would you buy any of this crap now that it's down in price? I know it was new paradigm money 4 months ago, but now it's been exposed for the scams that they are. Prices are cheap currently. Everything's on sale. Either adapt or get left behind. For those of us that are underwater in our positions, buying at lower prices actually helps get our total investments back into profit much faster by lowering your cost average. So there's a good case you made there for doubling down on existing positions. If and when prices trend back up, that is. Maybe you have a loser and it's going to go to zero. But that begs the question, have we hit the bottom for altcoins or is there more downwards price action to go? Well, let's try to figure that out, okay? Let's have a serious conversation about it. And let's start off with the current macro environment, because whether we like it or not, so long as Bitcoin trades like a tech stock risk asset, the larger macroeconomic picture is going to dictate what the hell is going on with Bitcoin's price. And Bitcoin is going to dictate what happens with altcoin prices, okay? So the real question then is, where does the larger macroeconomic picture go from here? Now, to be super clear here, I don't have a crystal ball, nor does anyone else. Okay, we're all just guessing based on a whole variety of different factors. But I'll give you my perspective for what that's worth and perhaps get you to think from a more risk-reward standpoint, which is probably the most effective thing to look at. First, understand what I think of as really being the basic tensions currently for the economy. And for me, it really comes down to these three simple ideas. First, as of February 2025, United States stock markets were at all-time highs, with many economists believing that most stocks were wildly overvalued compared to their company earnings. Second, Trump has flipped the entire global economic and monetary order over a barrel and had a go at it, let's say, with his trade war. No one knows what the implications are for any of this crazy shit and how long it takes before we start getting trade deals resolved and things announced and positive headlines. And by anything, I mean stocks, gold, US dollars, treasuries, Bitcoin, everything. And third, we live in an era of easy money, okay? Meaning that politicians and central bankers are not really willing to bite the bullet anymore and let whatever free market correction happen that needs to happen. But no, they don't want the peasants rioting in the streets. They'll print. They always do, or some kind of interjection in the economy to distort things. We've seen for at least the last 25 years massive central bank intervention in the economies and markets. And I think that's going to continue to happen. And it's a continual devaluing force towards your fiat currencies over time in order to paper over whatever economic troubles are happening at that particular moment. And that's what they'll continue to choose to do until it doesn't work anymore. What this means in practice is that continued higher prices will come for investable assets. So with these three ideas in mind, overvalued stocks, but not anymore. Trump's trade wars, unknowns, and our overlord's addiction to the money printers, okay? So these are the things to balance up in your head, okay? I think stock valuations have probably either bottomed or they're getting pretty close to a bottom. Why? Well, it's because we've already seen a huge correction in the markets, and the powers that be will only tolerate so much pain before they flip on, well, the upside printers again. So look, here's the Dow Jones Industrial Average on the week. Well, actually, before we get into the Dow Jones Industrial Average, guys, if you're trading these cryptocurrency markets, look, I know how it's been recently. It's been crazy, but get rid of those bear vibes out of your brain, okay? It's clouding your vision to see the opportunity that sits in front of you every single damn day. You can long the rips, you can short the rejections, you can make money no matter what the market is doing. These wildly volatile markets have made a lot of money for a lot of people. And if you need a good place to be trading at, check out BitUnix. It is one of the best exchanges out there, one of the hottest exchanges right now. And guess what? It's available to anyone, anywhere. So it doesn't matter where you're from, you can trade here, okay? There's a link down below. It's gonna get you all kinds of special bonuses when you use that link. You're gonna get $10 for free just for starting your account. You're gonna get up to $400 in deposit bonuses. So you deposit $2,000, you get $400 back, and you get up to $500 in trading bonuses. All the top coins, deep liquidity, great place to be trading. So I'm doing most of my trading now these days, by the way. So check it out, link down below. So let's talk about that Dow Jones, man. Going all the way back to the year 2000. overlaid with the 200-week simple moving average. You can see that a recession hit for about a year and a half whenever the Dow fell below the 200-week simple moving average during the dot-com bust, and again for about a year after the 2008 financial crisis. However, the central bankers didn't allow for one during the COVID crash, and my bet is that they don't want to let it happen because of Trump's trade war either. Hell, even as I was putting this together, Donald Trump's out here calling for the termination of the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell because he's not being dovish enough, okay? He's not cutting back on the interest rates. He's not cutting back on the QT. He's certainly not talking about QE. So let me simplify all this for you. I don't think our current leaders have the spine to not go for central bank interventions, okay? Which means I think the bottom for stocks is likely to be in. Knock on wood, which means the same for altcoins. Now, bad shit can always happen. War with Iran or something like that tomorrow, it invalidates that, right? But look, well, I think buying altcoins now is a decent move. We still have a lot of unknowns out there, things that can 100% crash markets, so don't take that for granted. But Trump's moves here are going in the right direction. So if you take more of a DCA approach, deploy only a portion of your capital, might make sense as opposed to just aping 100% in right now. We're at value for a lot of coins, quote unquote, if there's even any value for any of these coins. So that's my answer about if now is a good time to buy altcoins or not. It's probably not a bad time. Let's put it that way. Still risks in the market though. So I want to close by talking about how the best select here for good altcoins in the current market environment and just look at a few different charts for altcoins that have been the strongest coming out of the bottom, okay? I would recommend just concentrating on some of the ones that are getting the most hype, the most narrative, quote unquote blue chips at bargain prices, as opposed to some brand new coin that's at a relative high, even still at this particular point in the market. So basically, we want winners that have relative limited downside with more explosive upside potential. So let me give you 4 examples so you can see what I'm talking about here. First up, Solana. We're on the daily here. You can see Solana held and bounced off of $100. Now that was a very good support area and one that many of us thought might not actually hold, might be going even lower, back down to 80 bucks or 60 or something like that. But the good news for current buyers is that we're still not that far from the $100 price point. And we're very far below Solana's all-time high of $300. So again, we've got a solid blue chip altcoin with limited downside risk and high upside potential. If you liked it at 300 bucks, you should be loving it at 120 or 130, whatever the price is at the time you're watching this video. Next up, Litecoin. Litecoin's the right coin, baby. So look, picking up this coin between 40 to 60 bucks over the last 3 years made a lot of money for a lot of people. We're not so far away from those prices right now. And if you zoom out even more, you'll realize that prices in the $70 range, for example, are a relative bargain compared to Litecoin's all-time highs of, what, 400 bucks or something like that. Also, the Litecoin ETF is still expected to hit this year, potentially as soon as the end of the month. So, perhaps something to consider here. There's narrative. There's reason to be paying attention. Third, PEPE coin. Frogs. Meme coin. Oh, meme coins are dumb. Lark, yeah, they make money. Just get over yourself. Look, we're on the weekly chart here. I actually think this is one of the best looking charts in all of crypto right now. You've got a blue chip meme coin that's still cool. People still like, still has great trading volumes, super low current prices, and Pepe looks to have turned the corner here, putting on higher lows before most other cryptos have done the same. And fourth, the true future of finance, the new paradigm of money, the one chosen coin of the cycle, FARTCOIN. Obviously, it's FARTCOIN, guys. So the narratives of this bull run have been Bitcoin and meme coins, and I expect relatively to stay the same in the latter half of the cycle. Yes, RWAs will keep getting attention. Yes, AI coins will keep getting attention, but meme coins have been the breakout story. So I think FARTCOIN does well. It has narrative, it has hype, it has insane trading volumes, insane on-chain holders. Right now, FARTCOIN seems to get bullish momentum faster than almost any other crypto. It's one of the best looking charts in crypto right now. It's going through a bit of correction at the time we're recording this video. That's natural and normal. Look, below $1, probably decent buy, long run here, okay? I think it's another good one to look at for buys near the 50-day EMA, though. It's around 55 cents at the time recording this video. Just to summarize, when I look at everything, I think we're probably at or close the bottom in equity markets for the reasons that I described. There's still massive potential for chaos, though, so do keep that in mind. But if I am correct, and that was the bottom, then that should mean that now is a good time to be accumulating altcoins. Not all altcoins, be selective, but some of them will do very well in the coming weeks and months. But there's still plenty of uncertainty out there, so just be careful, okay? You don't need to go all in and be ready to cut losers if the market moves against you. Try to pick the strongest horses with the best prices and the best hype and the best narrative, best momentum. Remember to take profits when you're in profit. Thanks for watching.